Niche or not niche?
What does niche mean?
Technically, it's defined by the industry as in 25 or fewer doors per country. When we say doors, it means number of shops. But if you say it's in Selfridges, you could be in Selfridges in Oxford Street, that's one door. You could be in Selfridges in wherever else there is a Selfridges, like Edinburgh and Leeds maybe, so that would be 3 doors. If you're in the perfume shop, then that's probably like 10,000, I don't know how many perfume shops there are in the UK. If you're in Boots, it's thousands and thousands of doors. So if you are in, there are 25 shops or fewer in a country that the perfume is in, that is technically defined by the industry as niche.
Does it matter how many doors the shop has?
No.
And do they stipulate whether it's a revolving door?
It does not stipulate this because Selfridges indeed has one big revolving door into the first bit and lots of other doors around. That doesn't count as a number of doors. It's actually the retail establishment.
I mean, lots of shops don't even like to, they just have their doors open these days. Have their heating blaring out into the street.
Yeah, they like them shut so that they can decide whether or not to let me in after. We covered this last week. But yes, so what it doesn't mean is made by hand. And the reason that I want to talk about this is because I saw something on Reddit that said, I don't think 4,160 Tuesdays is niche because they're in Lucky Scent, so they can't be. And so Lucky Scent is one shop in the US. Well, they've got 3 scent bars and mail order, but they had decided that because Lucky Scent don't stock usually tiny batches of very handmade artisan, quite inconsistent, say craft made perfumes, they rarely stock those. They stock ours because we've been going a few years and we're consistent, and because we have to follow EU and UK laws, you have to have certain standards. So in the EU UK, tiny brands will be of the same, let's say, consistency as expensive niche brands. Whereas in the US, anyone can start mixing up a little batch and say, hey, I've started a niche perfumery. We tend to call that artisan or craft or indie. We'll cover indie as well. But because ours, we've got printed bottles, I've got help. You notice that there's more than one of me. In somebody's mind, that means that we're kind of like almost the same as, I don't know, say Frederick Malle, that has the impression of being quite small, but actually they're owned by Estee Lauder. I mean, huge difference. So because we look like we're quite professional these days, people don't think that we still make stuff by hand. So I thought I would we'd play a game of niche or not.
Okay, great.
So
and why does it matter?
That's a really good question, because I think that if it comes down to what's on the shelf, if you're in a shop and something's on the shelf and it's really, do you like it? Do you like the smell? But on the other hand, there are some big brands owned by multinational billionaires who have been donating serious amounts of money to establishments we might not like the feel of. And if anybody is really interested in where their money goes, above and beyond the choice of fragrance that they could have, they might really want to know, are they supporting the people they think they're supporting? Is it grassroots? Is it going directly to the creative people? Is it going to the people who make it? Sometimes there's more to it. How much does that company care about waste? Where do they source their stuff from? There can be other reasons why people buy perfume as well as the smell. Given that there are thousands of perfumes out there, many of which people will like the smell of, do they then choose to buy from an independent? Maybe, or do they choose to help the super rich become more super rich? I care. I'm sure a lot of people don't, but I'm going to start with At Lunch from Sarah Baker.
It's called At Lunch.
No, it's not. It's called Atlant. Atlante. Atlant, as in like the Atlantic.
Not At Lunch.
Not at lunch.
Wow.
Okay. Now this looks very smart. Okay. The bottle is from Posh Pack. The cap is actually made by Sarah's husband.
What?
Yeah. And
Give it.
yeah.
Wow.
Packaging. Smart. I think this is the up-to-date one. So made by hand in Scotland, this box. There's a little note in there. And this box goes inside another box, which comes on the shelf. It looks absolutely gorgeous because Sarah studied art, you know.
Yeah,
So,
wow, this is beautiful.
And do you know who made the fragrance, Arthur?
Sarah Baker.
No.
Oh.
What does it say on the bottle?
Oh, you!
Yeah, me. I made this fragrance.
Oh, yeah.
But this looks, to all intents and purposes, extraordinarily professional. Smells great. Shortlisted for an Art and Olfaction Award, 2019.
Wow, it's
So
very nice.
On the shelf, yeah. Give me back the bottle. I need to put it away.
It's giving me sort of gooseberries that have washed up on the shore,
Oh, good.
like fruit that's washed up on the beach.
It's strawberries that's washed up on the beach, but I'll take gooseberries.
There
Yeah,
you go.
that's fine.
Because there's salt in the sea salt in there,
Yeah.
the salty air.
There is all that going on. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Originally, we were looking at that the Venus emerging from the seashell thing. So this is definitely niche. It's also artisanal because I stirred it up, and it's independent. It's owned by Sarah Baker, so it's all of those things. It just looks really, really, really professional because Sarah makes it look like that.
I mean, it's an amazing cap.
Yes.
Is
Yes,
Sarah's
it is.
husband the person who made the?
Yeah, the things that
That put
not
the
the
lids
big
on.
ones, but the little ones. The butterfly, I think it's called flutterby. The machine that puts the
Lids on testers.
tops on the 2 mils. Yeah. Lovely people and of great use to the industry. Now this one looks sort of similar. So this is Lipstick Rose. Also, this one names the perfumer as well. Ralph Schwieger, whom I've met. Similar, but I suppose in fact it's probably the same bottle. From Poche de Courchevel, and it smells lovely. I got married in this.
Did you?
Yeah. And I've met Ralph Schwieger, and he's great. So this started off niche. It's dropped fully formed. Frederick Mal is like third generation of the industry. His grandfather worked for Dior, I think. So did his mum. So he invested in it, created 12 perfumes with top perfumers. So this was niche, but it was never artisan. It was never, it was sort of indie, but it was set up and then it got bought by Estee Lauder. So this is niche, but you wouldn't necessarily know from looking at them on the shelf anywhere that they came from such very, very different sources.
And now they've got a lot more than 12 fragrances, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. And they've got lots of ouds now, and they've got their own Bitin Harrods. And
Is Frederick Mal still around?
oh yeah. Yes.
Does he have anything to do with the company anymore?
No, he has got shot of his. He's done his golden handcuffs, whatever it is. They kept him for 10 years or so, and then he left. You've got to do your your term before you can go and do
It's very
something
nice.
else.
Very nice indeed.
Yes, it is. It's lovely. Now, okay. How about, here's one. Lush. Lush Icon.
So, I mean, doors-wise, it's definitely not niche.
Exactly. On the other hand.
But it smells
But
niche.
it
doesn't
is It's handmade. It's independent because it's still owned by the founders.
Is that what that means?
Independent is does the perfume, the people who make the perfume, indie tends to be defined by, do the founders actually still own it?
And is it rather than being owned by shareholders?
Rather than the public company or shareholders that. So they still make everything by hand.
But doesn't everyone make everything by hand?
No.
So would you have
bottles of? We're talking about machinery bottling. 10,000 bottles at one go. So this would be maybe the perfumer would have.
Is there not a human pouring the materials into a big vat?
No, but there is at Lush.
At Lush.
I mean, it's a very big vat. That's all. They have filling machines now, but the perfumes are blended by people who work for the company.
Yeah.
And you can see the labels are stuck on by hand because it's not in the middle. So that. Although they're big, because they've got something like 700 shops and more than 25 doors in the UK and the US, etc., because they own them, but they're still indie. And bordering on artisan.
Yeah, and also they smell very original. They don't smell like your duty free counter.
True. They definitely don't smell like duty free counter. Okay, so let's spray this lump. I mean, it's this could do murder. This is okay.
Whoa.
Right, so this is niche.
Mm-hmm.
It's indie because Tomlinson Bino, who set up the company, this is from Blackcliff, the first Barbados perfumery, and this is Black Sand. Perfumer, me. Tomlinson uses a few different perfumers, including our mate Kyle Mott-Kannenberg, and so this is independent. It's also niche. Now, it wouldn't be counted in the artisan category of the Art and Olfaction Awards, for example, because the owner doesn't make the perfume.
Mm-hmm.
So artisan category that I enter and never get anywhere in the Art and Olfaction Awards, that's for people where the company is still owned by the perfumer and they do it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Dawn Spencer-Hurwitz, Diane Sinclair, this one, Simon Scher, for example. So, but definitely niche. But Kyle did the designs because he's a graphic designer.
Yeah, I mean, how's that bottle been made?
Tomlinson is a businessman who already works in supermarkets, and he decided to set up a perfume company. So he took some money and invested it. So it didn't have to start completely from scratch.
Yeah, but how is that bottle being made?
It's moulded, I guess. It's resin.
Oh right, yeah, and then
there's a glass bottle inside it.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
It is. So yeah. But definitely niche. Now, okay, let's move on to l'Artisan Parfumeur. Okay. It says it's artisan. It was. So the perfumer who set it up made them himself. He's no longer alive, and I can't remember his name, shame on me. But so l'Artisan Parfumeur was independently owned.
Mm-hmm.
See what you think. This is relatively new, I think 2 years ago maybe. It's called Banana.
Yeah, it's very banana-y.
It's very banana-y. I had to have it because it's just very banana-y. It's very heavy. So this, by the time...
That's just so much banana. It's like a banana sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. By the time this was made, the company was already owned by Puig, which is a very big company. They had been bought by. So I mean, they started off niche. They are no longer niche, but they have a reputation for being niche.
Right.
They, same as Penhaligons, they were bought at the same time. The same venture capital company, same investors owned it for a while, and they bought it. They did interesting things. Bertrand Duchaufour made a lot of their fragrances, and then they got bought by Puig, and so did Penhaligons at the same time. And weirdly, Penhaligons kind of had this reputation of being a tiny London-based independent brand. It's massive, multinational, worldwide now.
Yeah.
But they still cling on. Penhaligons still put black taxis and London buses all over their displays, and even though they're Spanish now.
Yeah, and are just, you know.
So they cling
their shops
on.
are just. It's all.
It's film set.
Yeah.
Because you know it was re-established by Franco Zeffirelli, the film director, in 1974. So
I really some of their perfumes about 10 years ago I really liked.
Yeah, that was the Bertrand Duchaufour era.
Yeah, but it's all a bit bland for me now.
Oh, this isn't bland.
Wow.
So this is Souls on Fire by Neshama. This is artisan, indie, and as niche as you get.
Who did you say was the perfumer?
I might not have, but it's Simon Scher.
And this is.
So this is a pushback bottle which has been printed.
This is very vintage smelling.
It's class. This was shortlisted for an Art and Olfaction award as well. I love it when my pupils beat me. I tell myself that. No, it's great. But it is lovely, and I think it really stands up with any of the perfumes here.
It really does. I mean,
Quality.
it smells really like real quality. It's got that old-fashioned sort of soapy smell.
It's well. Do you want to see what it is? It says osmanthus, Egyptian jasmine, civet, tobacco, basil, pink pepper, labdanum. It says, and you know of those notes. But actually, the naturals are included in this. So.
Wow, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really, really nice.
Isn't it? So that ticks all the boxes, as they say. I mean, do we? Here's the thing. I think of us as a tiny niche within niche. We are totally independent. Nick and I own it. I think I totally own it, but I gave him some shares. But since it's not worth anything, doesn't make any difference. And we make everything in this building.
Yeah.
And we've now got 2 perfumes made by other people. One by Harry Sherwood, and
which one did Harry make?
he made Lightning Ridge years back.
Yeah, right.
Yes. And the other one is Ellie Vasiliou, who made Absolute Filth. When we were playing with this one, which, I mean, no big brand would ever bother, I don't think, to stick on that many
Stick
tassels.
a nipple tassel on.
Yeah.
What? This is Tempest Rose, and
Yeah.
people can buy it, can't they?
Which they can, yeah, they can. They can get it. It's in, I'm very tired today. Brickyard in Regent Street. And here. So this is our, yes.
Wow,
Alright, so
really good.
What we're doing a total of 1,000 bottles of this, which is a lot for us.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. We haven't made them all yet, but we've got 1,000 tassels. So we'll stick them on when we need. But something like what? I know.
Sabrina Carpenter's one.
Oh, yeah. Alright, you want to smell that? Yeah. So this
Only because you were playing with it downstairs.
I was playing with it downstairs, and you need to see this. I got given this yesterday because I was next to them at the cosmetics. I know. I was next to them at the Cosmetics Executive Women Awards event. So this.
I've seen this advertised.
Oh, I haven't. I didn't know about it. John's wearing it. So
Oh, really?
this is marvellous. This is a celeb perfume. That's different. Oh my goodness.
Whoa!
Isn't it just? So this is basic chocolate cherries. It's those dark chocolate cherries, sour cherries dipped in dark chocolate like you get at Hotel Chocolat. So that is very, very, very cherry. It's not very expensive. They have to be set at a certain price point for the celebrities, fans all to be able to buy. But because they're produced in such huge quantities, they can afford to get an individual bottle like that made, which I could never do. But what's interesting is that this has the new EU allergens list, which means that they sort of have to say a lot more about what's in it. So they do actually have Atlas cedar in it, and a cinnamon bark oil, can't be very much because it's very restricted, and rose oil, or at least it says rose flower oil extract, it's probably rose absolute, and rose ketones. So there are some naturals in it, I'm pleased to say. But yeah, so this is, I mean, why would you not buy that? I mean, if you like cherries, go for it. It's really splendid. I had to have it. I swapped it yesterday at the event. So yes, Cherry Baby it's called. Sweet Tooth by Sabrina Carpenter. There's going to be 1 million bottles of this made, you know, in order to keep the costs down by spreading it all out. But this is not niche, it is not indie, it is not artisan, doesn't make it not good. And yeah, I wouldn't not buy it. Let's go on the borders here. I mean, Guerlain has been going for centuries, literally centuries. They are now centuries, very good. I wasn't thinking of that. Okay. This is one of their Aqua Allegorias.
Sorry, I've got to just...
Yeah.
You should make a cherry ingredient, a cherry perfume.
I have got a cherry perfume.
Yes,
also.
but it's got 100 ingredients in it, and you call it Scent
Cherries.
Cherry.
Okay, I should make... yeah, okay. Alright, a cherry perfume with 100 ingredients called Scent Cherries.
This is quite nice.
Yeah, so it should be. It's from Guerlain. But Guerlain is owned now by Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, which is owned by the richest man... No, well, the richest man in France. He was second to Musk. At one point, he was the richest man in the world when Musk bought Twitter. I think he's down to fourth now after Bezos and Zuckerberg. But by no stretch of the imagination can they be considered indie. They do sometimes call themselves artisan because their perfumers are craftspeople, but what they have done, not with this range, which is more affordable, but they have brought out a slice, a batch of fragrances which are £300 to £500 per bottle, and niched them. They've put them in fewer than 25 doors per country and gone, this is our niche range, because they kind of looked around at people who were genuinely doing niche stuff, some people charging a lot of money for it, and them at the time.
And started imitating them. Tom Ford's done that as well.
They thought, we'll have a slice of that.
Yeah.
The Tom Ford always came out there. Tom Ford launched in that high price band in just a few shops, going for people who had a lot of money who would want to buy a lot of them.
Right.
So they thoroughly went for it. And there's something about niche that they tend to be called, like there's an adjective and there's an ingredient. And if you're looking for big companies that
Whimsical tobacco.
Lipstick Rose.
Yeah.
Yes. Banana. I don't know, violent violets.
Cheerful cedar.
Yeah, cheerful cherries. But rose prick. That's a Tom Ford.
Is it?
Seriously. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Lost Cherry.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, seriously.
Who made that? Is that actually?
That's a Tom Ford. Yeah.
Oh god.
I know.
I don't like that.
No, I don't like it either. There's a vanilla that's even worse, but I've forgotten it. I've blanked it. But yeah.
Yeah. Well.
That. So if you see the word and then. Or like Le Labo, you've even just gone for the name of and a number.
And the number
They
of
don't even bother
ingredients.
with an adjective. So, but that markets it straight into they're going to be a couple hundred, few £100 worth of that. I might just refer to that as cynical niche. But as that is, and Dior's done it as well, and Chanel's done it, because they had all decided that they would go mass market, high street, into boots. A couple of decades ago, they went out of the department stores and thought, right, we'll manufacture more. There was a huge argument when Superdrug got Chanel, and Harrods are sort of like, oh, how awful! This is terrible. It cheapens the brand. What it did is just made them shed loads of money. So what they've done now is got more exclusive ranges. This is going to be my sign for. Like niche. They went from there to, we're going to charge this much, we're going to make these bottles, and we're going to charge hundreds of pounds for them and tell everyone they're exclusive. They probably don't cost any more to make than the ones which are in Boots and Superdrug, and
They certainly won't. Certainly don't.
well, but they can. Well, they have, the perfumers will have access to a wider range of ingredients. But they certainly won't be using any more expensive things than these, for example, or Lush. So, I mean, dig deep. There's a lot of things which are kind of insta-niche, which are, brands are launched with backing, with investments, because companies are looking around thinking, oh, perfume seems to be doing quite well, let's put some money in. But dig deeper, see if you can find who makes them, who's the founder, do they really make them by hand. Andy Tower, we love Andy Tower. He develops all his own fragrances, he owns his own company. Or if you just like the smell of it, then buy it because it smells nice. But we are artisan, indie, and a tiny niche within a niche.
What does it? Last question.
Yeah.
If you sell online, how many doors is that?
One.
Yeah.
Our front door.
Yeah. That's interesting though, isn't it? Because you could sell I mean.
Depends how many warehouses you've got, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna need to redefine the definition of niche.
Yeah, because it's based on retail, and then of course everything changed during lockdown.
Well, I think that everyone should go online to your door and go on to 4160tuesdays.com.
Come to our virtual online door.
And go and buy some perfume.
Yeah, okay. And now would you like an Indian Desi Pop?